Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another Seagal film. And now I'm getting to my absolute favorite Steven Seagal movie, and that is Out for Justice. Directed by John Flynn, who had done the Stallone film Lock Up. And I know John Flynn and William Forsythe did not like working with Seagal because for John Flynn, apparently Seagal was always late. For William Forsythe, they didn't get along. And at one point during a fight scene, Seagal I think, fucked up one of his front tooth. So granted, in person, Seagal doesn't seem like much, but his character, Gino, really a badass character, love the character. And the reason I keep saying this is my favorite throughout the Seagal review so far is because this has a certain feel and taking place in Brooklyn, taking place in New York. I think they shot quite a bit of it on location. Seagal given a pretty damn good performance. I know a lot of people make fun of his accent, his Brooklyn, but I love it. I think it's perfectly cool. I have no problems with his Brooklyn accent. It seems like he gives a character a certain vibe that I've never seen before or since from Seagal. It's definitely better when he tries to be Cajun or he tries to be gangsta sometimes. Like this fits naturally, in my opinion, when he gives his dialogue out. And it seems like they give a bit to his character when he talks about his background. There's a story he tells his girlfriend about how his dad would go out and he would sharpen people's knives and he had a little bench, and then less and less people would come by because they had disposable scissors, and how his father would lose that luster for life, or he would talk with other people about when he was a kid. But at the same time, this is a 90-minute, very fast-paced action film that's very bloody. Sacramento Sacramento Union, Mick Martin, pure adrenaline pumping, jaw dropping thrills. I agree. Has a really cool fights, including a scene in a meat shop, butcher shop, scene in the bar. You have a really good bad guy, William Forsythe. You also have Jerry Orbach in the film. Gina Gershon has a small role. Wonderful music by David Michael Frank, one of my favorite scores that he's done. He also did Above the Law and Hard to Kill, as well as The Hero and the Terror and Code of Silence and Showdown Little Tokyo. Great underrated composer. Definitely one of my favorites of his. Fits the film like a glove. Has some really good songs too. You have No Sleep Till Brooklyn from the Beastie Boys. I even like the song at the end. Don't stand in my way. That's okay. You have a couple montages. That's the thing. There's stuff in this I haven't seen too many Seagal films. Him playing this sort of Brooklyn Italian type of character with that accent. Having little musical montages is not in too many Seagal films I can think of. Even little notes like him wearing this beret at times, I thought that was a cool little touch. And this is one of those films that Jack Craven sent me some info. Thanks once again. Apparently, there's about 20-30 minutes of more footage because the director had wanted, I think he had done the film Rolling Thunder, and he wanted to have that kind of pacing, but Warner Brothers wanted a 90-minute faster paced flick, like they did quite a few times. And so stuff was cut out. But it sounds like the stuff that was cut out was more about plot and character. And I got enough to my liking in the film, but it would be nice to see on a deleted sequence or a deleted section, but Warner Bros. Is never going to do that. At one point, it was going to be NC-17, but some little bits were cut out. Also, there's another thing I was going to say. Oh, apparently the guy who Warner Bros. Told to re-edit the film, shorten it, is the guy who also did re-editing for Deadly Friend and Maniac Cop 3, and I think Showdown Little Tokyo. But this is just a kick-ass, badass, fast-paced action movie with Seagal wanting revenge because his partner, Bobby Lupo, was killed by Richie, which he used to know as a kid, who's high on drugs, and him and his thugs are fucking things up everywhere. I mean, even the way this film opens, he's on a stakeout, but he sees his pimp hitting women, a particular woman, and the other guy's like, "Hey, we have this bus going up." But Seagal says, "Fuck it," goes over, fucks with the guy. He's like, "Oh, you like to be on fucking women, huh? You be up on me, asshole." And the pimp's like, "Well, I will fuck you. I will fuck your wife and your kids." And then just Seagal just pissed, punches the guy, just throws the guy up against the wall, smashes his head through the passenger window of a car. And then the guy's like, you son of a bitch, Gino." And he flips the guy right through the front windshield. And then you see Seagal pass by, and the camera's right through the broken windshield, and it freezes. Steven Seagal. And then boom, boom, with the score, "Out for Justice." Which I know the original title was going to be "The Price of Our Blood," if one of the characters even says that line. But I like "Out for Justice" better. "Price of Our Blood" sounds like a drama. I, I just, or a period drama that took place in New York, or a mafia film in the vein of The Godfather. I like "Out for Justice" better. It has a nice ring to it. Simple but yet effective, just like this movie. And yeah, William Forsythe, who does a really good job as Richie, and he shoots and kills Seagal's partner, Bobby Lupo, right in front of the guy's kids, right in public, and he just doesn't give a shit. He's even with his guys, his gang, his crew, and there's this woman who's just telling him, "Get out of the way, your car's in the way," and he comes up like, "Oh, you call me an asshole?" and just shoots her right in the head. He don't give a fuck. And even the other guys are like, "What the hell's going on? Did you have to do that? What the hell?" And Seagal ain't having that shit. He gets his beret. His captains, or the superior guy, is Jerry Orbach, who's a good character actor. He was also in Universal Soldier. And he talks about how, he knows the neighborhood better than anybody else. And he sort of has connections with sort of the mafia type of guys, including a guy named Don Vittorio. And Don says, "Hey, we'll take care of this." And Seagal says, "Oh, yeah, you know what? But God forbid if I find this guy before you do, you know what I'm going to do." And this movie I love the scene when this guy throws his bag right in front of Seagal's car, and Seagal's like, "What the hell?" And he finds it's a puppy inside. And it's a really cute puppy that they have there. And Seagal goes, "Please, God, let me run into this guy someday." And he does at the end of the film, which is really funny. You have some fun montages of him looking for Richie. "Anybody seen Richie? Anyone know why Richie did Bobby Lupo?" And you have a montage with the Beastie Boys song "No Sleep Till Brooklyn," which Sally they did. There was a version of that in that shitty Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows trailer, which pissed me off. You don't put that song for that fucking movie, and it was also on Cop Out. No, it's for this movie. If you had a Ninja Turtle movie that was like this movie, then I would give you credit, but that will never happen. Only in my dreams. And there's also some fun bits that, well, I was saying before, there's stuff in here that I haven't seen in many other Seagal films. Him laughing. Like, naturally laughing. For example, he's just driving by and the hooker goes, "You want to fuck?" And Seagal hears that and he laughs. Like a real laugh. And then he tells some other guys, "You hear what she said?" And they go, "No, what'd she say?" And Seagal just can't believe it. He's just laughing about it. And that's something very rare in films before, definitely since. You have a fun car chase when he finds William Forsythe, and They start going over these bumps, and the cars keep bumping back and forth. And it leads into this butcher shop where you have a great fight. Seagal makes a guy hit his own fucking thigh with a meat cleaver. And he takes a meat cleaver and literally slams into a guy's hand and has a stick in the hand, so the guy's hand is stuck to the wall. I love that brutality in these early Seagal films. I love it. And fucking guys up, takes a guy's baseball bat, slams him in the face with it. Even fucks up a guy, takes a salami and just hits him in the head. Even the shop owner pulls a gun on him. And Seagal's like, why are you pulling that gun on me, huh? What, you going to shoot me? Okay, don't be a bad guy like that, okay? Be a nice guy. William Forsythe, again, he's a guy who's been in quite a few action films, and he's usually a pretty damn good bad guy, whether it being Stone Cold or this movie. He's a really good actor. I guess you'd call him a character actor. I don't know. Just one of those guys you see, and he usually gives a pretty damn good performance. Even in films he was in, The Rock, he was in, been a lot of stuff, William Forsythe. Very, very capable actor. I think he was even in Blue Streak, if I remember correctly. Not as a bad guy, but like one of the good guys. And his character is such a creep. I mean, he goes to one of his exes, ex-girlfriends, or people he sleeps around with. And he goes, you wouldn't just say no to me, would you? To the girl, and the girl's crying and pretty much intimidating her to go to bed with him. And it leads to Seagal going to a bar and having another great scene. Fun dialogue where he's looking for Richie, and he's talking to, I think it was one of Richie's brothers. One of William Forsythe's brothers is like, yeah, he's not here because he's a chicken shit fucking pussy asshole. You know? And then someone calls him a prick. He's like, prick? Is this a setting for profanity? And he tells another guy who says he knows nothing. He's like, yeah, says he doesn't know this, doesn't know that. And Seagal goes, yeah, you don't know nothing, do you? And goes around the bar. I see all this boxing stuff. Who the boxer? You the boxer? You a tough guy? Yeah. Oh, really? How about you, boxer? You show me some moves. And the guy tries and just smacks the fuck out of him, knocks him the fuck out. And gets a little cue ball, puts a little towel around it, beats the fuck out of guys right in the head, right across the face. Even one guy spitting teeth out. I was like, you knocked my fucking teeth out. Knocks his ass again. So later on, you see like this big gash. Ugh. And then another guy named Styx, who I think is Dan Inosanto, who studied under Bruce Lee, and I think he's in Game of Death. Like the actual footage Bruce Lee shot with Game of Death. I think that's one of him. I think he has Styx in that as well. I could be wrong. I think he's the guy when you see that footage in Game of Death when Bruce Lee has the bamboo stick or something, and he's like fighting the guy. Maybe he's I can't remember who he is in that. But I know Dan Inosanto studied under Bruce Lee. I think he was in Game of Death. I can't remember which one he is. You can look it up easily on YouTube and such. But they have a nice little fight where they both have broken pool cue sticks, fighting back and forth, and beats the fuck out of him, smacks him in the face. And then the guy who's related to Richie tries to pull out a gun, but it's one of those things that you pop up in order to get behind the bar, and Seagal just slams it down right on the guy's hand. And man, this moves at a very fast pace. It's definitely one of the shorter Seagal films. It's only 91 minutes long. That's with end credits. So an hour and 31 minutes, and there's not much. That's why sometimes maybe this re-editing stuff, like Shonen Little Tokyo, I love to see the deleted scenes as curiosity, but that moves at such a fast pace that I love the film the way it is. Same with this. So part of me wonders if it was just sort of fact it got trimmed out. Again, if you look closely, you can find some continuity gaps, but I never noticed them when I first saw them. So it never really bothered me. Maybe because I was just a lot of times I'm bad when it comes to that. Noticing those little things like continuity. Unless it's a movie that really, 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 really bores the ever-loving fuck out of me. Then sometimes I can catch it, but a lot of times I can't catch that stuff. So a lot of smarter people than me who catch that. I don't mean that in a wise ass me. I mean that in a genuine way. I'm being genuine about that. But even some of Richie's crew has a little fun moments that doesn't just it's not just dialogue about the plot, it's just dialogue for dialogue's sake in a good way. Like when Richie's on the passenger side, someone's driving, and some people in the back talk about how this guy has a mouse in his apartment, and he's trying to shoot it, he can't shoot it, and ultimately William Forsythe's like, "Will you shut up about the fucking mouse?" And some nice dialogue here with Seagal. And again, I know some people make fun of his Brooklyn accent. I always enjoyed it. I always thought it was fun. And there's one scene where he's talking about how, as a kid, you realize, I always wanted to be a wise guy. Who knew I would be a cop? And like I said later on, when he tells the story about his father who sharpened scissors and knives, and then how it grinded his dad down when people stopped coming, and some nice little scenes for Seagal and his character. He goes to see Gina Gershon, who's Richie's sister, and I did some fun dialogue moments where he looks at a girl and asks Gina Gershon, "Who's that?" "Who?" "The one with the nipples you dial phone number on." Or dial phone number with. That's what it is. "The one with the nipples you dial phone number with." She won't tell anything, so he arrests her. They try to get her to talk, and ultimately has to arrest the guy's dad as well. They try to get him to talk, and ultimately he keeps him there to keep him safe because Richie is so far gone that he would be even willing to kill his own family. And ultimately leads to, at one point, they try to go after Seagal's family, his woman and kid, and Seagal fucks them up. You have some shotgun fun. Shotguns one through a window, shoots two at a door with his pistol, even shoots one around the corner, grabs one guy, just point blank range, shoots him right in the neck. And this is when you actually have bloody practical squibs, which so much better than CGI, because obviously it was safe enough that they could do it back then, and also it looked natural and it looked real, which doesn't take you out of the scene in comparison with having a fucking CGI squib that takes you out of the scene because you go, if you try and get into the film, you go, okay, that's a movie, that's a video game looking blood shit. It's not that fucking hard. Well, it's not safe. People were doing it for a decade at least. I think there's ways you can make it safe. It probably wasn't safe to go to the fucking toilet, but that's why they make the lid so you put your ass in so you don't fucking fall in. That's why you do shit. But anyway, getting off tangent. Even takes one guy and pushes his ass and throws his out the window so he falls a few stories to his death. Richie's and his crew are killing some guys. They go to that bar that Seagal fucked up earlier, and they kill some of the Don's guys. And hell, I've seen before, he kills a guy in a wheelchair who he thinks ratted on him. So, the William Forsythe's character is a total creep that just does not give a fuck, and he's so far gone on the drugs and crack and all that stuff. He don't give a shit anymore. And one thing leads to another, and they find Richie. A kid calls in and says, "Hey, Richie's here." Steven Seagal gets there and fucks their day up. I mean, shotgun fun for the win. People get blasted with shotgun blasts, huge bloody squibs. I think even one of them is Kane Hodder who gets shot. Even takes a fucking guy's leg off. Like, shoots a guy in the leg, and the whole fucking leg, like, a piece of it gets blown off, so, like, this just tips over. Doesn't you shot my fucking leg off? They don't do that anymore. It's sad. It's that visceralness. You go, ooh, damn. This guy with tattoos, just hits him into a wall and smacks his head against the brick wall and dies from that. And gets in a fight with Richie. But I can't even call it a fight because it's so one-sided. It's just pretty much Seagal beating the fuck out of him to smithereens. Just, taking this rolling pin type thing, smack him in the face. A frying pan that Richie tries to hit him, he takes away, smacks him in the head. Smashing him through windows, punching the shit out of his face. Ultimately taking one of those, I think it's one of those things you use with wine. Or I'm not sure what it exactly is. But takes it away and it just jams it, stabs it right into Richie's head. Pretty bloody sequence. And hell, even during the scene, Seagal gets shot right here, and it's like nothing, so he's invincible. And I'll admit, in some movies I find that fun, but you can't do that in every movie. But Seagal pretty much does that in every movie. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't fun in this movie. It was fun. And after doing that, at the end, you go back to the puppy, and he's able to find the guy who did that. And he comes up to the guy, it's like, "You fuck nuts! Yeah, did you maybe one time throw a bag with a dog in it?" And the other guy's like, "Yeah, man, next time I stuff you in a fucking plastic bag and throw you out a fucking window." "Oh, you tough guy? Yeah, I'll see how tough I fucking am." Tries to punch, but Seagal gets it, kicks him right in the balls. And him, his woman, and the puppy go off into the sunset, and then you have a fun song, "Don't Stand in My Way." Again, never seen this in a Seagal film where you have a montage during the end credits of stuff he did throughout the film. Not a usual thing I've seen in Seagal films, and which didn't make it the same. In fact, a lot of it's just sad because I'm watching these classic golden era of Seagal movies, and I know what's coming up pretty damn soon. I still got some fun stuff coming up, but still soon the direct-to-video shit's gonna be so painful. And it's gonna be even sadder because I look at this and I go, this is simple, effective, 90 minutes of just some fun one-liners and actual pretty damn good performance by Steven Seagal. He gave a shit. It's some fun little moments of his character, him kicking ass, meat cleavers to the hand and to the thighs, and hitting people with a frying pan or with a cue ball rolled up in a towel, knocking people's fucking teeth out. Fun songs like from the Beastie Boys, excellent score by David Michael Frank, very capable, more than capable, very solid. Direction by John Flynn, never got bored at all. All that creates my favorite Steven Seagal movie and my favorite performance of his. Like, my favorite role of John Van Damme is that guy. My favorite role of Steven Seagal is Gino. "You fuck nuts!" Who the boxer? You the boxer? I'm gonna keep coming back here until someone tells me if they seen Richie. Then we know what Richie did, Bobby Lupo. Like, just lines I love saying. I've said it like multiple times throughout the video because it's fun to try. I'm failing, but trying to mimic his performance. Again, I'm failing because I don't know how to talk Brooklyn. But a lot of fun for this movie. A lot of joy. And again, we have some fun movies coming up. I even liked On Deadly Ground. I mean, I'm not going to sit there defending On Deadly Ground, but I don't think On Deadly Ground was that fucking bad, let alone a 4.4 out of 10. Of course, before I get to that, the next one, I believe, is Under Siege. That's a classic movie. And On Deadly Ground, not that fucking bad watching it again. Under Siege 2, pretty damn good sequel. Deliver Man, I think, is underrated. I like Fire Down Below. So, yeah, the next couple movies will be pretty damn good. Oh, I forgot about Executive Decision. Well, you heard about that when I get to that. I mean, anyway. But yeah, Out for Justice. Again, ahead of myself. Out for Justice. Love this fucking movie. Awesome fucking film. Just fun, badass, kick-ass. Great music, great fights. And you got a cute puppy as well. You got a cute fucking puppy. So it's time to end the fucking review and get back to watching more of Out for fucking Justice. And by the time I'm doing this, I did hear from commenters on Above the Law that apparently Seagal wants to do Above the Law 2 and Under Siege 3. Please don't. Leave those movies alone now. What, Above the Law, what? It'll be, instead, Above the Law, then the second one will be called what? Below the Waist? And if you do Under Siege 3, will it be at the buffet? The buffet got under siege? The buffet is under siege, and we need Casey Ryback to stop this buffet. Because terrorists have taken over the KFC or the Dunkin' Donuts. What, if you do a sequel for Out for Justice, what? It's going to be Out to Lunch? Out for Breakfast? Not breakfast, breakfast. So he'll change automatically to just a Cajun just for shits and giggles, because that's all he wants to do, like either shitty roles or roles that are not even his own fucking voice, or roles that he thinks he's Cajun. It's like one of those three. Or roles that he just, hey, my name's Steven Seagal, and I'm out for breakfast, or out for breakfast, and out to lunch. So Out for Justice is out to lunch. Great. Just leave the fuck alone. They're classes for a reason. You don't. Under Siege 2 is a good sequel. You don't need to do any more Under Siege, and you don't need to do any sequels to your older films. Leave them the fuck alone. But classic movie. Thanks for watching. Take care, and don't be a bad guy. Be a nice guy.